Have you ever wondered if love is truly worth the sacrifices you make? In today's story, we follow a 70-year-old man who took a chance on love, reconnecting with a spark he thought had long faded. What started as an exciting romance soon became a costly pursuit that tested his sense of self-worth and dignity. Stay with us until the end as we reveal the powerful lessons he learned. Lessons that show how true love and self-respect must coexist, no matter our age. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I invite you to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is essential in helping me create better videos that match your interests. Now let's dive in. From the very beginning, he knew this relationship would not be easy. Friends raised their eyebrows and whispered their doubts. His own children were more direct, voicing their blunt warnings and heartfelt concerns. Deep down in the quiet of his mind, he too wondered if this was wise. But at 70, his heart still burned with defiance, a desire to challenge age and expectations. He yearned for a connection that would reignite the feelings of youth, when love was thrilling, boundless, and full of possibility. This desire was not just a fleeting hope, it was a deep-seated need, an all-consuming longing to recapture what he feared time had taken from him. What began as a cautious step toward romance soon evolved into a fervent chase, an obsession. He poured his heart, energy, and soul into this relationship, treating it as his last great love. Yet, he was unaware of the cost that awaited him, a price he wouldn't realize until his heart was too deeply invested to turn back. In the early days, it seemed almost too good to be true. She was like a refreshing breeze, a burst of light that revived him in ways he hadn't felt in years. She enveloped him with sweet words and smiles that made his heart race. Her compliments awakened a strength and vitality he thought had long vanished. She saw something in him that he had forgotten, an allure, a charm, a vitality he didn't know he still possessed. Every time she looked at him, he felt invincible, capable of defying time itself. He responded with fervor, treating her with a level of care and devotion reserved for the most cherished people in his life. He showered her with affection, lavishing her with gifts and praise, doing everything he could to make her feel like royalty in his eyes. She was a miracle, a gift he never imagined could enter his life so late. But even amidst this bliss, subtle warnings were planted. At first, her demands were almost imperceptible, little requests veiled in the same sweet charm that had captivated him. A suggestion here, a preference there, things he willingly accommodated, eager to make her happy. But gradually, her requests grew more pointed, more insistent. There was a tone of superiority he mistook for confidence, a playful assertiveness that intrigued him. He didn't yet see how he was being molded, subtly and surely, into something different, something he hadn't intended. Every time he adjusted to please her, he moved further from his own sense of self, yet he dismissed it as part of the thrill of new love, telling himself it was worth it, that each small change brought him closer to her heart. As the months passed, however, the warmth began to fade. Her behavior grew colder, her kindness tinged with hints of contempt. The playful remarks turned into pointed critiques, remarks that stung more than he was willing to admit. She started commenting on his age and the limitations it brought, pointing out flaws he had once taken pride in or learned to accept gracefully. "Men your age really should take better care of themselves," she would say with a slight smirk, as if he were a project to be fixed. Her words pierced him, but he tried to laugh them off, convincing himself they were just jokes, minor teases that meant nothing. But over time, the jokes came more frequently, each one digging deeper into the core of his insecurities, eroding the confidence he had built over the years. He began to feel like a stranger in his own skin, a man who was no longer young enough to meet her expectations, yet desperate to hold on to her. The breaking point came when she turned her criticisms toward their intimacy, a realm he had always considered sacred. For him, love wasn't just physical. It was a blend of affection, warmth, and tenderness, things he knew he could offer abundantly. But she didn't seem to see it that way. She began to criticize him in ways that struck at his most vulnerable parts, pointing out that he was slow, predictable, and lacked the vigor of a younger man. Her words cut deep, leaving him feeling exposed and inadequate. He tried to explain that his age didn't diminish his capacity to love deeply or make her feel cherished, but her sharp, unyielding comments only deepened his shame. Each remark echoed long after she'd spoken. Desperate to prove his worth, he took a final step, reminding her of something no younger man could offer: his gentle, intimate touch. He shared this truth with the sincerity of a man who had lived, loved, and learned. But instead of softening, her reaction was cruel. She laughed, a mocking, dismissive laugh that stripped his words of their honesty, turning his vulnerability into something pitiful. Her mockery was like salt in an open wound, corroding what little pride remained. Humiliated, he clung to the hope that this was just a phase, a test of his resilience and devotion. As days turned into weeks, he convinced himself that with patience and understanding, she would eventually recognize the depth of his commitment. He believed that his enduring love would win her over, that she would come to appreciate his devotion. But each passing day saw her words chip away at his self-worth, driving him deeper into a dark place. He began to see himself as nothing more than an aging man with little to offer someone so young. She made him feel invisible, insignificant, a man past his prime, clinging to a dream that had perhaps been foolish from the start. To outsiders, his decision to stay might seem baffling, even pitiable. Friends who witnessed his suffering questioned why he endured such pain, why he allowed himself to be diminished by someone who clearly saw him as disposable. But those who have loved deeply understand the strange, binding power of love, especially love that hurts. For him, leaving seemed impossible, for love had sunk its roots too deeply into his soul. It clung to memories of her early sweetness, those brief but unforgettable moments when he had felt young and alive. And though it brought him pain, he stayed, bound by a longing for a love that had once felt like salvation but had become his deepest sorrow. He realized he was no longer bound to her youth but to an illusion, a desperate, aching need to prove his worth to someone who could never see beyond his years. He was lost in the shadow of someone's approval, chasing a mirage he could never reach, and in a moment of stark clarity, he made a decision. Late one night, after a painful confrontation where her words reduced him to something lesser, he looked in the mirror. Staring back at him was a 70-year-old man, his face etched with lines from years of living, his eyes heavy with the weight of both joy and sorrow. He didn't just see the toll of age, but the strength of experience, the marks of resilience. In that instant, he understood that self-love needed to speak louder, that he could no longer be diminished by someone who would never accept him for who he truly was. With newfound courage, he chose to confront her. Sitting across from her, he calmly explained that while he loved her, he could no longer endure the pain, the subtle yet relentless humiliation. He told her he was ready to walk away, that he was choosing himself over a love that only brought suffering. She looked at him in shock, clearly surprised that he had found the strength to leave. In that moment, he felt the stirrings of his dignity return, the dignity that had been slowly eroded by every hurtful word and belittling look. It was a painful conversation but also liberating. For the first time, he felt he was acting his age, not in the sense of surrendering to weakness, but embracing the wisdom and strength that come with maturity. As he left her home, a profound sense of relief washed over him. A weight he hadn't realized he was carrying was suddenly lifted. He remembered everything he had lived through, the countless experiences that had shaped him and the memories stored within. He realized he was valuable, that his worth didn't fade with each wrinkle or gray hair. He now understood that not everyone can see true value, especially those who focus only on the superficial. He saw clearly that by surrendering himself to her demands, he had lost his way. But by walking away, he regained not just his pride, but the quiet serenity that comes from a love he could give himself. The days that followed were not easy. Solitude crept in, and the echo of silence was sharp. Yet, this solitude felt clean, dignified, unburdened by the need to prove himself to someone who would never understand. He began to find solace in his own company, realizing that even without her presence, he was still whole, still a man filled with value and history. The experience taught him that real love is not defined by youth or physical attraction, but by respect, kindness, and appreciation that transcend age. Each wrinkle on his face was a chapter. Each gray hair, a memory of a life well lived. Months later, he discovered that life still held joy, even after heartbreak. He reconnected with old friends who valued him just as he was. He traveled to places he had once only dreamed of seeing and reawakened passions he had long abandoned. He took up hobbies that brought him simple pleasures like painting and reading. With every passing day, he realized that his worth didn't rely on the validation of a younger woman. It was grounded in the peace he found within himself. He accepted that aging is a gift, for with it comes the wisdom to understand what truly matters. Each line on his face told a story. Each silver strand was a testament to the life he had crafted, struggles and all. To those of advanced age who may be grappling with similar questions, his journey serves as a gentle reminder. Love is precious, and the desire to be loved is a beautiful, universal longing. But it should never come at the expense of one's inner peace. As time passes, we learn that some lessons can only be understood through the lens of experience, and dignity is a treasure to be fiercely protected. Looking back, he saw that his relationship with her, though painful, had been a profound lesson. A lesson in the strength to let go and the courage to place his own self-worth above anyone else's fleeting approval. He had learned that to truly be loved, he first had to love himself, completely, with all his imperfections and strengths. The choice to leave her was not just the end of a romance, it was the reclamation of himself, a decision to prioritize his own heart over the relentless pursuit of elusive validation, built on mutual respect, kindness, and a genuine desire to nurture one another. True intimacy is not about physical prowess or meeting certain expectations, but about the depth of emotional connection and the willingness to care for each other in ways that go beyond the surface. It is rooted in generosity, offering not just physical closeness, but emotional support, tenderness, and understanding. Through his journey, he came to understand that love, in its purest form, is about shared respect, and it should never be tainted by humiliation or control. It is about honoring the other person as they are, and in turn honoring oneself. True affection is not based on fulfilling obligations or seeking validation, but on mutual care and deep connection. For those in advanced age, this lesson is particularly profound. As time moves on, what we seek from relationships may shift from the physical to the emotional and intellectual. True intimacy becomes about sharing life's wisdom, moments of joy, and offering companionship that transcends fleeting physicality. In the end, the journey of rediscovery is a testament to the fact that self-worth does not fade with age. Rather, it is strengthened through the accumulation of wisdom, experiences, and the courage to embrace oneself fully. The character's journey teaches that dignity is the foundation of a meaningful life, one in which true love and respect are not dependent on youthful appearances or outside validation but on the integrity and self-love we cultivate over a lifetime. This reflection on self-love, dignity, and the courage to choose oneself resonates deeply, particularly for those in later stages of life. The narrative provides powerful lessons on the importance of maintaining one's integrity and not allowing external validation to define our self-worth. Here are the key lessons woven throughout this journey. Lesson 1. The illusion of youthful romance. The allure of youthful relationships can be strong, but this story reminds us that love should be about more than external appearances. Seeking validation through youth or physical attraction can be a trap, leading us to tolerate disrespect. True love is grounded in mutual respect, emotional connection, and the acceptance of one another as we truly are. Lesson 2. The non-negotiable importance of self-love. Self-love is a cornerstone for healthy relationships. The story emphasizes that no matter how much we care for someone, we must prioritize our own self-respect and well-being. Enduring criticism or devaluation for the sake of love compromises our dignity. Loving ourselves first gives us the strength to demand respect and love from others. Lesson 3. The courage to embrace solitude. Choosing solitude in moments of hardship isn't a defeat but an opportunity for renewal. This character's journey shows that by walking away from a toxic relationship, he reclaimed his inner peace and dignity. Solitude offers the freedom to rediscover oneself, heal, and build a life based on self-respect. Lesson 4. Embracing the wisdom of age. With age comes wisdom, and this story beautifully illustrates how each wrinkle and gray hair represents a life rich with experiences, struggles, and triumphs. True beauty lies not in external youth but in the wisdom and depth we accumulate through the years. The more we embrace our age, the more we see that it's the stories, resilience, and lessons of life that make us truly valuable. Lesson 5. Dignity as a pillar of true self-worth. Dignity is priceless and should never be sacrificed for fleeting validation. The character's decision to walk away from a relationship that eroded his self-respect is a profound act of self-affirmation. Maintaining dignity means recognizing that we are worthy of love and respect at any age, and it is up to us to set boundaries that honor our worth. Lesson 6. True intimacy is rooted in generosity. True intimacy is more than physical connection. It's about emotional generosity, care, and respect. The story shows that true love involves tenderness, patience, and mutual care. Physical closeness should never be used as a weapon or to manipulate. It should be a natural expression of love that nurtures both individuals equally. As the character reflects on his journey, he finds that life doesn't require us to conform to others' expectations. Instead, we grow by honoring who we are and what we've learned. Each lesson, about love, dignity, and self-respect, becomes a powerful tool for personal growth and peace. The story invites us to cherish and protect our self-love, for it is the foundation of a life well lived. For those who may find themselves in similar struggles, this story offers a profound reminder. Our worth is defined not by others' approval but by our inner strength, wisdom, and integrity. By choosing self-love, we give ourselves the gift of peace and the courage to embrace our life's true value. If this message resonates with you, consider sharing it with others who might benefit from these reflections. It's never too late to reclaim your dignity, love yourself fully, and choose a life that honors your true worth.